I was hoping to make this a sole event. Now I've got my diary full of old. I mean, after this thing also. Then evening, there were some things pending before the repetition sector I have to do also.
So you guys now give the stage.
Sorry,
So these are the startups who presented their 7 pictures, the 6 pictures. Yes. So
I will now request Honorable Union Minister, sir, to please light the lamp to begin the proceedings. We should truly celebrate this momentous occasion.
AMRUT 2.0 was launched in October by Hon'ble Prime Minister, and I'm really glad our AMRUT team led by Thara has organized this startup challenge, pitch pilot scale startup. I think it's very, very timely because water, whether it's a drinking water or water treatment, is an area which is awareness and treatment and activities are increasing across the country, led by Swachh Bharat, AMRUT, and all the local bodies who are taking interest in that. And they are like typical governmental setup. We find it very easy to procure a laptop or a furniture or something, or to construct a building. But when it comes to technology procurement or services procurement or maintenance procurement, the government officials find themselves very handicapped, don't know what to do, how to procure the right things. Go a step further, that easy procurement. So from private sector side, probably they can do it easier by negotiation. From government side, probably we need to think what exactly a solution we need to provide for easier procurement. Because if you float a tender in L1, this won't come up. So in Kerala, in IT, we had certain size, certain type of solutions, we have exempted them from tender from registered startups. That was one way. We need to find right solution for this type of procurement in government agencies. In this today's event, Honorable Minister has come, and I, on behalf of all of us and the AMRUT team, I would like to welcome Honorable Minister Shri Hardeep Puri. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Manoj. I'm delighted to be here this morning, and my sense of elation is on account of many factors. One, I think that whenever the government makes a success of a scheme, the government's success quotient, if I may define it as such, is dependent on the enthusiasm and participation of not just the stakeholders, but others who are in the overall ecosystem. Let me try and explain this somewhat convoluted thought of mine. You know, when the Honorable Prime Minister launched his flagship missions in 2014, a lot of people thought, and perhaps because they did not have sufficient information, they thought that these were, freebies that would be handed out from the central government through a system of delivery in which the center would provide some money, the states would provide some money, and then something will come through public-private partnership. I think they were totally wrong. Because if you look at the architecture of our schemes, many of them actually, you could argue, should not have been designed by the center, because land, for instance, is a state subject. What is the center doing? But I think the Honorable Prime Minister understood, and these schemes were designed so that the center will act as a incentivizer or a catalyst, so that if some money is given, others will follow up. Now, let me fast forward. When you come to AMRUT, AMRUT was a reasonably limited scheme. It was introduced in 500 cities with a population of over 1 lakh. And it was supposed to ensure that water in the tap, stormwater drainage, and a host of other things will come through that process. After about, through the first tenure I had as the housing minister, I was always asked, our city got left out, what will happen? So we used to talk about maybe an extension, because AMRUT only spoke about 66%, covered 66% of the urban area. But what you got out of AMRUT 2 is a massive transformative scheme. It's an outlay of about 2,77,000 crores. And it is going to succeed, like Swachh Bharat succeeded because a government scheme became a people's movement, a Jan Andolan. But this will succeed, and I think this is where you all come in. When I was ambassador to Brazil many, many years ago, and Brazil, unlike India, is blessed with, I should be careful with my words, let's say 22% of the freshwater reserves. I was going to say it's blessed with 1/6 of the population and 3 times our land area, but I have to be careful there. I mean, we are very fortunate to have a large population, but you have to cater to it. Now, one of the things that struck me in Brazil was that here was a superabundance of water, fresh water, agriculture, but we needed to look after our population. So I started flagging the water issue much before I joined the Council of Ministers or the Cabinet. Now, when I come here today and I find that, startups are now the flavor of the, season. I had some statistics which, by the way, I'm not using my talking points, so you can still put them out because they're excellent talking points, but I thought I'd interact with you rather. I was looking at the number of unicorns we've had, and I just couldn't believe my, any country in the world with our challenges, or which has technology and has people using technology, would be proud of these figures. But what is it that we are hoping to do through this interaction today? Now, I don't know, I was not here for the earlier part, and I'm sure you've covered some of the things, but what I
Page 3. Page 3.
3 unicorns.
Page 3.
Page 3, okay, good. See, this is what you need good research assistance on, because I decided not to use the notes, and I decided I needed to use the notes. Yeah. Between 2011 and 14, we created only 1 unicorn every year. This figure rose from 2015 onwards. We had 4 new unicorns in 2015, 8 new in 2018, 9 new in 2019, 10 new in 2020, and a whopping 42 new unicorns in 2021. My God, when I saw this figure this morning, I can tell you, I have seen a lot. I spent 39 years in the Foreign Service, I've traveled a lot. But when I saw these figures, I was just startled. And I said, look, there is something. And I'll share another experience with you. And this water issue and I want to come back with some very good points which I think what our cities need to do. That's my experience there. But before I come to this, I've been through several experiences in my life. One is an experience which is a purely inward-looking government experience. That we in government know what is good. We in government know what is best for you. We in government will tell you when we are ready, and we are not ready to tell you everything. That's one experience. The other experience is you put everything in the public domain. That there is no such thing as classified or anything. And I find that over the decades that I've been in some job or the other, I find that whenever you're interacting with younger people, you have a pendulum swing which goes. When my daughter went to a very famous university, I once asked her, how's it going? Do you have a lot of friends? He said, yes, but we don't talk about work. So I said, why? He said, for the fear that I might give an idea away. My God, that is when you are really, innovating with a thought a minute, then you are, because no, it's not that they will keep the idea to themselves as the government sometimes does, Manoj. Sorry. I mean, you put in a lot of years, Thara's also put in years, but I put in more years. No, they will take the idea and then have a startup. So what I'm saying is that, look, I think it's fantastic. My experience has been that whenever you're with younger people, you're interacting in an open mode and you let them give you the ideas, but don't say, I take your idea and I'll make it my office note. No, that's not going to work. Because what will happen in that case is that you will end up sending a proposal which is half-baked. By half-baked, I mean because I haven't thought the idea through. I just want to show off that I've got his idea, and then I can. So my advice to all my colleagues is let's have a discussion. You run with the idea. And run with the idea, I'm telling you, today I'm very convinced in all the issues, certainly in respect of the Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry, it's not going to run without the stakeholders. Because the stakeholder will be able to tell you when to change it. And it's not going to run without people taking technology and using technology to do that. Most of our successes have been due to technology. Earlier, all our schemes used to be based on paper, budgetary provisions would be made, nothing would happen. But where does the startup come in? And what do I think these objectives which can be readily met? I don't know, you probably have covered all this. One, that Indian cities need to maximize freshwater resources and optimize transportation, distribution and input losses. I mean, it's a point some of my colleagues said that I spend a fair amount of my time these days, and that people may not understand it, saying, what are we doing with our water bodies? And I think AMRUT 2, that way is a very special thing because it is going to produce something which is unique in the country for the first time in terms of, water security, in terms of how people will no longer have to, agonize, I think that's the word, on where it's going to come from. So, maximizing freshwater resources, optimizing the transportation, distribution and input losses, increase the efficiency and sustainability of water utilization, better water quality, more robust means to prevent groundwater contamination. Indian cities need to find solutions to scientifically treat wastewater, increase reuse water consumption. Cities need digitally advanced tools to monitor, evaluate and course correct water and sewage functions in real time. Now, if you look at these 4 or 5, 6 things I've read out, who in the ultimate analysis will be responsible for delivering this? It's very easy for me to turn around and say this is an urban local body's job. Okay? Urban local bodies say, well, this is within my remit, this is not. So, this is where I think all of you come in. You have startups, you have an evaluation of the absolute ground reality, you have an evaluation of the potential and what you can deliver. And when I watch and I study what has been done so far and what you all are doing, so I'm delighted on many counts. First is, I think this is the first startup in our water area. We are sure about that. You haven't done something that we are claiming credit and Jal Shakti Ministry may have already extra. So what you have to do, government body, startups, industry, whether it's incubation or funding or other things, you please remember, we are not only partners with you, but we will actually and actively support you in all ways that we can. That's the message I want to give you. Now, you will set up platforms. Platform, you can either have instant satisfaction that you've got a framework or a platform, or you can have fire in your belly, which means you are always looking at ways and means of scaling up and replicating these innovative solutions. So, and I think India, that is what is going to take India not only to the, the apex, the summit of this startup world. And I can tell you, I have watched, even in the last 2-3 years, because we have a robust democracy and we have developmental challenges, we also have, to look at security and other concerns. Very often, if every department gives its thinking in silos, you end up having what I call, and don't quote me on this, a war of the silos. But actually, it's a robust process, and through that we navigate decisions and we come to good decisions. I think in our drone policy in particular, I was delighted after the initial hesitation, because this is a new technology and you will find that India will be the leading, not only in terms of drone technology, but manufacture, etc. Equally, when it comes to the water area, any solutions you find here through your startups, well, you already have a fairly large canvas to cover in terms of India, a large country with a population of 1.34 billion. But I would say something more. You look at the kind of countries which could use your technology and your, innovative ideation and solution. I think the world is, I'm looking at my friend here who's now dealing with the NI, National Institute of Urban Affairs at this UN. I mean, I think you should take some of our youngsters, those who have the inclination, put them on South-South development platforms. By South-South, I mean, you just have a international webinar, organize something, let them demonstrate their solution. It will help them in securing, even greater amount of financial support and backing. But more than that, it also showcases what really truly good ideas and innovation can do in terms of solving not only India's problems at all. I'm sorry, I've already spoken longer than I had intended to, but as I said, I'm delighted to be here and I look forward to interacting with you not only in the next few minutes here, but also as we proceed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, we have a video message from Shri Kaushal Kishore Ji, Minister of State, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अमृत 1.0 लागू किया था और 500 शहरों का चयन किया था, जिसमें एक सकारात्मक परिणाम आए हैं। और उस सकारात्मक परिणाम को देखते हुए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने विगत 1 अक्टूबर 2021 को अमृत 2.0 योजना को लागू किया, ताकि लगभग 4800 से अधिक शहरों में व्यवस्था है उसको फिर से ठीक करके, स्वच्छ करके उस पानी को एकत्र भी किया जा सके और जाके जिससे वो दूसरे कामों में भी उसका यूज किया जाए। मैं ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट भी लगा करके पानी को शुद्ध करने के लिए और कचरा मुक्त शहर अपने देश के बनाने के लिए हम सब लोगों को पूरी तरीके से लगना चाहिए और हाथ चला करके जो गंदा पानी है उसको भी स्वच्छ करना है और पीने का पानी भी घरों तक अच्छी तरीके से पहुंचाना है, ताकि हिंदुस्तान को दुनिया में नंबर 1 पे लाया जा सके शहरों।
Now, this truly marks a very momentous occasion for our urban water and sanitation sector in the country. There is a due application process which goes live, and this is the portal, and all the startups can participate in this challenge from now. Please, a huge round of applause again. So this conclave has somehow, enabled Thank you so much, everyone. Now, speakers and experts are requested to go to the backstage for tea. We have great exhibition stalls on display from the present startups, so everyone should definitely go and take a look. In the startup.
Very good, looks good. Yeah, sure, come.
We are into water body distribution from one end-to-end solution. So we have a water ice cleaner which moves around the water body without manual intervention, clean it out. Then we aerate it properly to the pond, like big scale lakes and reservoirs, based on the weather and water quality condition. And also we can take it as a livelihood model where we, when on the top of the water body we can grow vegetables because the fisheries that is growing.
Good.
Yeah, that will.
We are monitoring the complete water management system. We need the digital water infrastructure system. Monitoring the, we have converted panchayat, local panchayat water tank into real-time monitoring. It's a smart water management system. Smart.
Namaskar, namaskar. Where are we going?
So we just have few over here. Just couple of them.
I need to go. I'm already overrunning 20 minutes late here. Yeah.
पहला सेट जिसमें 500 माइक्रोन के स्लॉट वाला SS304 का लॉन्च
सर इसमें हम लोग वेस्ट प्लास्टिक से रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग करते हैं. वी आर यूजिंग रिसाइकल पॉलीप्रोपिलीन मटेरियल से हम लोग मॉडलर रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग करते हैं. तो 6 घंटे से 8 घंटे में
Very good, very good, very good.
So we
have developed a robot that goes inside the pipeline system and does a complete inspection of the pipeline network. So whether you need to know with what condition of the pipeline is, where
I have
the
a demonstration made to some of our people who are still having problems of, you know what, manual scavenging or etc. The robot is, yeah, you get out and then of course, yeah.
This has been fitted in a borewell head office where you will get disinfected water instantaneously. And that means we can eliminate diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, whatever.
Okay.
And also for piped water.
We have water labs, sir. We have water for monitoring of complete water ecosystem through satellite.
And the mapping issue.
And the mapping issue.
what do you do? Just read them once.
Sir, we do in situ rejuvenation of all water bodies through a Vedic process. So the water quality we are able to
Ayurvedic process.
Yeah. We are able to match the standards.
Where have you done projects?
So we've done it in Kashi, which is going on right now.
Yeah.
We've done it in Punjab, Haryana.
Just take one of these. Okay. Well, if you can spare this, I won't have a look. Or just take a card. Both sides. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Our usual app is specially designed for borewell. Basically, water level tracker.
Patent pending means pending where?
Applied for.
Well, Indian Patent Office, huh? Ah, okay.
सर लोग जन जल से जो आप अभी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की और सेफ वाटर की डिलीवरी की बात करते हैं हम लोग उसी पर काम कर रहे हैं. दिस इज बहुत जो जल जीवन मिशन में ऑलरेडी अप्रूव भी है. इसको हम लोग ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट से किसी में रेट्रोफिट
When we sit down, give me a little para on each of those so that we can sit down. Manoj, we can sit down and see some of these areas are very cool. Thank you very much. इसको बोलो एक research piece. Very good. No, Jules, the kind of potential this has. अरे जाना तो एक बार शुरू हो गया ना, it'll explode because you got then there are STPs के लिए technology, you got technology for sending into pipes. I put the. Yeah. See you.
What is the encroachment happening on lands, how the river is traveling, with that river flow has been mitigated, has the water in river goes down, is your water body safe, all these things comes at the satellite based intelligence. So for a common language, think like this: if you can compare any two images and you can find the difference, we can automate the process of satellite, and we can give you that intelligence on any scale or any industry. Because if we are also monitoring oil spill, we are also monitoring ship movement in the ocean, right? We are also right now talking to defense for their defense land safety, because they have a huge land across the country and encroachment is a major problem for defense as well. Especially in civil areas like Hyderabad, Secunderabad, where the defense land is very much connected with the civil life, right? So though that's come under land use intelligence system. Second part is water resource management, where we are into urban water resource management, like urban water distribution planning, urban flood, urban sewage collection and sewage distribution network. And then other part is the water resource planning at a state level. How much water I have today. So for example, we have implemented for Andhra Pradesh. And if you want to know today, right now, how much water is there in Andhra Pradesh, you can know that. You can just go to the website.
Water ATM, all these services are integrated. So we have the water ATMs already installed.
Okay, from your water ATM only you use it.
Okay. Which are already installed as part of that infrastructure. From there it can take water and go to the colony. Backside जो slum पर हैं, जो आसपास colonies हैं जहाँ पानी साफ नहीं आ पा रहा है, वहाँ पे साफ पानी आता है. Urban slums.
So how much you are charging for like 1 liter?
1 rupee a liter. That's a government prescribed rate, 1 rupee per liter. If the panchayat or anybody else want to subsidize it, that can be done with the use of prepaid card.
And what is the material of the tank, which is?
It's a stainless steel grade puffed tank, yeah. So it can maintain, sustain the temperature as well. Temperature, pH, yeah, and we also yes.
Also all the time. So we have about 5 minutes for each speaker so that we can have a discussion also.
Absolutely, sir. So, I tell you, while I was seeing the stalls outside today, I saw a startup who was a startup 5 years ago. I had met them at the Telangana Tea Hub. Yet it was a startup. And I tried to talk to them to get a sense of, okay, what do you need? Is there a business model set out? They were looking for pilots then. They were saying कि government, this state government or that state government, can they give us a pilot? Can we test our technology once? A very similar answer came today also. They may have done 4 or 5 pilots in that time horizon, or maybe 10 pilots in that time horizon. But yet, the scaling up wasn't thought of. I just wanted to highlight that one point and dwell a little deeper on that. And I must compliment you, ma'am and sir, for
वेस्ट वाटर रिसाइकलिंग पे अब तो ज़्यादातर अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज़ की पॉलिसी आ रही है कि अगर आप अपने इतने एरिया में इतनी आपकी हाउसिंग सोसाइटी है तो आपको वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लगाना जरूरी है विद इन सोसाइटी. ज़्यादातर काफ़ी शहरों में ऐसा आ गया है, तो वही एक मेजर पॉलिसी है. या फिर अगर आप सीवेज सिस्टम है तो उसमें कनेक्ट करने का, तो डिसेंट्रलाइज सीवेज सिस्टम पे ही फोकस है आजकल. ट्रीटमेंट एंड दैट वाटर इज यूज्ड फॉर इंडस्ट्री.